Grand Rising, Elizabeth. Thank you for joining us this morning. At 9 o'clock a.m., we will close our social media and continue on Zoom only. Join us by getting your Zoom link at elizabethvisionaryconference.org. We'll be there until 10 a.m. You can join us now, and we'll see you in the Elizabeth Zoom room. Today, your hosts are Nawili Griffin, Lillie B., and Ayana Blair. Enjoy.
Grand Rising.
Grand Rising Day. How are you folks? This retrograde.
I know, right? It was.
6 planets in retrograde.
Oh.
But that Mercury, don't play with nobody.
Don't play with nobody.
It don't. No wiggle room. No way around it. Sleeping in a bed full of crystals.
Ah.
Bed full of crystals. Just trying to have some balance and harmony and protection.
Oh. What kind was that? The protection.
The black crystal. This is tourmaline, I think. Black tourmaline. I had a necklace to wear it around your neck for protection. Or obsidian. It might be obsidian. Either one. They both for protection. The black stones, black power and protection.
Okay.
Yeah, I have some bad crystals as well. I'll start it before retrograde though. Let's see. Can't see it. Small, but my little Mick, tiger's eye and all that. Yeah. So how are you ladies feeling?
We're good.
Rising.
Beautiful. I'm happy to hear that. Blessings.
Grand to the rise.
Absolutely.
Drink water, because that's essential. Water is life. And right now, we need that. At least if you're going to do one thing, go drink some water. Retrograde is retrograde. And you've been passed out here in this world with all this miscommunication and misunderstanding and technological errors. As you can see, today we had a little bit of a late start because of the technological mishaps of retrograde, but we don't let that keep us down. Never.
Oh, moving right along.
No.
Yeah.
We keep moving forward, like my old friend Dory. Just keep swimming. What do we do? We swim.
Oh, that's right. You guys are gonna have the little baby sounds. The TV is not yours anymore. Now you're gonna be hearing the
numbers and letters all day, all languages. Oh my goodness! Like, oh, well, I'm sitting here learning too. Unlearn and relearn.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, because you got to learn all the new stuff that's out for babies now, for how they learn. And my little grandson, who's let me see, he's about 1 year and 3/4 now, and he has this little little phone thing, and he sits there and he looks at it, and he takes that thumb and he works it, like start it, and then he knows what to do when it does something else. And I'm like, you're just 1 year old.
Exactly. My little brother I knew these kids were different when my little brother was born. And he was definitely evolved. He was
Yeah.
hacking into video games and stuff like that off my grandfather. He put a password onto his PlayStation, and somehow my little brother, we called him a little evil genius.
Uh-huh.
Evil genius, because that's what he was. He somehow got the password or figured the password out. It was just crazy. Like, you're only 2 years old.
Exactly. And he
How
figured
are
it out.
you picking
Yeah.
stuff up?
Yeah.
Picking up people's phone passwords and things? You got to be careful around him.
Mm.
Goodness gracious, he'll be on some cartoons and YouTube for surely on your phone if he figures your password out. Hiding somewhere in the cupboard. In the cupboards. Hiding, eating cookies in the snack cupboard while he has your phone. Yeah, that was him. My
Wow.
little
Just 2 years
brother.
old.
Just 2 years old. Didn't make sense to me at
Mm-mm.
all. Playing video games that adults like have troubles playing. Like it was a lot. He was definitely an interesting character.
Yeah. Yeah.
For Grand Rising, how we
Great day, my beloved. How are you?
I'm well. I am well. Better than always.
Yeah.
Mama Evelyn texted me, so I just sent her the new Zoom.
One day at a time.
So what's the report on your son?
I haven't heard from him at all.
Okay, he hasn't called or anything.
No, but his girlfriend said, text me, well, and said that he's moving, that he's okay, and he's moving to Oregon.
Okay.
And so,
The sound that I'm hearing.
I'm sorry.
Now I'm wondering what the sound is that I'm hearing.
That's not on my end. I don't have any wind or anything.
I know, and Lily's is muted, so I'm not. It went away now.
Yeah.
Yes, my fan. Had to turn
Oh,
that on.
okay. All right.
Yes, yes.
So he's moving to another place,
To another state.
another state. Who lives there?
He said, I have a friend, he has her contact. She's always been open to us coming to visit or whatever. So,
Okay.
he could reach out to her.
Uh-huh.
Yep. I've
Yeah.
been staying in my prayers and my vision
Yeah.
healing. So,
Yes.
hey, I do my best.
I do my best. And my best is good enough.
It's enough.
God will do the rest. You
Uh,
do your best, and God will do the rest.
We'll do the rest.
You do your best.
So you got
That's a
tonight.
t-shirt.
Oh, definitely. Tonight's Eastern Market After Dark.
Oh yeah.
It's from 6 until 11.
Yes, when Lily B has to go to work.
Oh, today is the night market?
Yes. Yeah.
Bad face.
Oh.
Tonight be the night.
Tonight's the night. Oh. Hi. So we have Stella the Poet.
That's my girl.
That's your girl. Okay, got it. You got the information to her.
Yes, I did.
Welcome, Stella.
Hi, Estelle.
Estelle.
Hi. Hello.
Great. We are
Ooh.
We're holding on for just a second because they changed the code for Zoom. I found out this morning that it had ran out, so I had to create a new one and send it out.
So
Yeah,
we're in the shift.
we're in the shift. And we can get started. We've got enough people.
Okay, so I want to say great day.
Great
Oh,
day.
you're gonna do your introduction and all what you do, Aduni?
I did.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So great day, everyone. Thank you all for this time together. And I just want to say thank you all who held me in prayer, my son, all of us, the situation, circumstance yesterday. And thank you, Peace, for actually showing up, bringing me like comfort food, sitting out on the lawn in the garden with me, holding the space for breakthrough and love and light. I appreciate it. We had a revelation while sitting out in the backyard that we're going to do the next goddess full moon circle right here in the garden at the Heidelberg. And so really excited. We both had the aha and vision at the same time. So that was great. That was great. So I want to start off, of course, by just centering ourselves and doing a little breath work and just knowing at the center of us is that sweet Holy Spirit, that source, that place and space that is forever fueling us, loving us, invigorating us, guiding us, and protecting us. And that we are so blessed. And that as we live in this gratitude, it is more than an attitude. It is our walk. It is our language. It is in our thoughts. It is in every fiber of our being, every morsel of life and love and energy on the planet. And in this knowing this, we're just going to take 4 breaths as we inhale 4 counts, and then we'll exhale 4 counts. Just relax your palms at your lap, soften your eyes, relax your shoulders. And we're just going to inhale through our nostrils and we will exhale through the nostrils. Let's inhale to begin. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to continue with our breath work. We call it pranayama, accepting, allowing, and bringing in the prana as a practice, as a conscious breathing exercise. You're going to be inhaling again 4 breaths, but you're going to do the breath as if you're sniffing. 4 times as you inhale, sniff, exhale. Sniff, inhale. Sniff, exhale. And this is at your own pace or rate, and continue. One more round. And relax. And inhale through your nostrils. And exhale through your mouth. Let's inhale, stretch your arms up over your head, open and close the hands, and release, 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 release. Yes, nothing like a deep dive of breath. And welcome to Run. Are you in? What are you into this morning? And what are you giving out? You got to come in to go out. And welcome. This is Nawili, Lillie B on the scene, and our beloved Ayana. Glad to have you, knowing that all is well. And so you guys know I always start out with a reading. And Spirit has me, my book that I'm reading this month, along with my daily own book, is The Inner Game of Tennis. And this book was, it's so old. It was like in the 60s or something. I got my first copy. So I recently replaced it, but you see how it looks. So I'm going to read from it. And I'm just going to preface why I chose, or we chose each other this morning. When I got to chapter 3, and I love the number 3, it said, getting it together, quieting the mind. This says the inner game of tennis, but guess what? The inner game of tennis is the inner game of life and living. So I'm going to read from The Inner Game of Tennis. The chapter, getting it together and quieting the mind. Okay, it says, we have arrived at a key point. It is the constant thinking activity of self one. And he breaks down the consciousness and how we do things into self one, which is that self that's always on your case, the ego self. And self two will be our real conscious, the I am. Okay, he says, it is the constant thinking of self one, the ego mind, which causes interference with the natural doing processes of self two. Harmony between the two selves exists when the mind itself is quiet. Only when the mind is still is one's peak performance reached. And even though this is a book about tennis, peak performance refers, to anything that we set our intention to see, to be, and to do. When a tennis player is on his game, he's not thinking about how. And how many times have we heard and asked the question and set our intention and know that behind that is, it's not up to us to figure, the how is not on us. The how is the divine, our alignment with the divine purpose. He's not thinking about how, when, or even where to hit the ball. He's not trying. There's that word, butt squeezes, okay? I use it, but it's in the book. He's not trying to hit the ball. And after the shot, he doesn't think about how badly or how well he made contact. The ball seems to get hit through an automatic process which doesn't require thought. There may be an awareness of the sight, sound, and feel of the ball, and even of the tactical situation, but the player just seems to know without thinking what to do. There be the knowing that we know that we know. Listen to how D.T. Suzuki The renowned Zen master describes the effects of the ego mind on archery in his foreword to Zen in the art of archery. As soon as we reflect, deliberate, and conceptualize, the original unconsciousness is lost and a thought interferes. The arrow is off the string, but does not fly straight to the target, nor does the target stand where it is. Calculation, which is now miscalculation, sets in. Man is a thinking reed, but his great works are done when he is not calculating and not thinking. Childlikeness has to be restored with long years of training in self-forgetfulness. And I'm going to read that again. Childlikeness has to be restored with long years of training in self-forgetfulness. Perhaps that is why it is said that great poetry is born in silence. Great music and art are said to arise from the quiet depths of unconscious, and true expressions of love are said to come from a source which lies beneath words and thoughts. So it is with the greatest efforts in sports. They come when the mind is as still as a glass lake. And so it is. This really spoke to me, period, about life and living. Wow, the mind is still as a glass lake. Can y'all, oh, a great mama had grand glass lake rising. I love it. Yeah, the mind, stealing your mind, that's still, and just letting the flow, whether it's through meditation, whatever your practice is, begin to constantly and consistently affect you and move through you is my goal. And I would just implore and just, I'm not saying beg, but I would implore you and just say daily consistent practice in the stillness, quieting the mind is invaluable in these lives, these times. And we all can just think of a time when grandmother, granddad, uncle, aunt, someone said, girl, sit yourself down and be quiet. We didn't know how much they were blessing our little fast tails then. But we know now. Yeah, yeah, I'm so grateful that that is coming through and for me to share. And one other thing I'd like to share before Estelle, my beloved, comes through and to us is my prayer I wrote today regarding my son, my energy yesterday. So in this moment, I wrote, in that moment, which is the eternal now, sweet Holy Spirit, I give thanks for your light of wholeness within me and within Manu Kimani. I know that the bubble of love, divine purpose, and healing surrounds him right now and forevermore. It is his time to heal and shine and give honor and praise to share the testimony of breakthrough in the world. He is blessed and he is a blessing, and we are all blessed. I surrender him and this situation to thy loving embrace, knowing that the best is yet to come. It's already all right. I've done my best, and so the rest will divinely unfold. I stand in faithful agreement with my guardians, my guides, my angels, and my ancestors, knowing that all is well, no matter what. I release it all, and so it is done. Amen, Ashe, Satnam, Namaste, Hallelujah. And so it is.
Ashe.
Shay.
So, Lillie B, and hi, Estella. Oh, she looks so pretty.
Yes, it does.
So, I'm going to let Lillie B and Ayana do an intro, and then I'm going to tell my story how I connected with Estella.
Yes, yes. Hey, beautiful people. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
Thursday.
Yes. Without further ado, I would like to introduce our guest, Miss Estelle Holman. Yes. Hi, Miss Estelle. How are you? How are you feeling today, ma'am? Take yourself off mute.
Be here. Yana, would you like to chime in anything? You're open.
Would you like to tell us about your business, or I can do your bio?
Yeah.
Yes, I definitely can't wait to hear about her new up and coming book,
Oh,
Love. What is Love, Magic, and Maroon Moons. Ooh. Yes,
so
ma'am. I want to know.
I'll let you read. I'll let you do the bio, and then I want to tell my story how I connected.
Okay, go ahead, Yana.
Retired from day job more than 20 years ago, Sella the Poet has a YouTube channel now and has been pursuing her creative dreams all her life. She is a graduate of Beverly Hills High School and Howard University in Washington, D.C. Wow. Congratulations, because, okay, ma'am, yes. She has always, let's see, considered herself as a community advocate, self-awareness facilitator, and a creator of self-empowerment programs. So that's beautiful also. We've had many people of your kind come on here with a beautiful spirit, starting those programs. Ooh, yes. She is a world traveler, a practitioner of healing arts, a writer and author of Truth Shots and Ida's Brew by Sella the Poet, published in this year by World Stage Press. She is currently, I'm sorry, my phone keeps on going black, but she is currently working on her second book of poetry, which my mom just mentioned, Love, Magic, and Maroon's Moon. Maroon's Moon? Maroon. Oh, I'm sorry. Maroon Moons. Maroon Moons, due in 2022, which is this year, so we can't wait for that to come out. That's going to be out too soon. So we're excited. Let's hear from Miss Stella. Stella, thank you for being here. We're blessed with your presence.
Thank you, Ayana, for that intro. And so when I really was thinking how I met Estella, wow, it was at Agape, or through the Agape spiritual community, which all y'all know about. But I remember this, that's how I know we connected, our hearts. We've always been connected. But I remember feeling her, and this is going to make you laugh, Estella. It's making me crack up. When Jewel was letting go of things in Catch One, and we were moving things and things were being moved into the storage, or she was letting go of Catch One and you were in the trenches in there, and I kept on hearing, Estelle or Stella, and I was like, oh, I think I think I know her. I'm feeling her. And then we have a friend, I'm going to call him a friend in the Vapors now. We had a friend in common who she was dating. And so we'll leave him out in the blessings of Vapors. I'm loving the Vapors. Loving the Vapors. And so I remember him speaking of her, but never had really connected with her. And when I connected with her, it was so divine. She is phenomenal. She is the only person I let lay hands on me as my masseuse. Because her healing touch, her ashram that she allows you to come into, her space is so divinely healing, life affirming. it is beautiful. From the inside out, she exudes that, and her environment. She is the person I always speak about. Put the sound bowls on my body who resonate with it and love it. And I mean, when I hear sound bath, I always think I put it on my body because of the introduction as Sella gave it to my healing. And you know, her book, her poetry, I'm just ecstatic. So I get to let my childlikeness come out in this moment and say, I love you, I appreciate you, thank you. And so now y'all know I love her and she's my sister. And so I want y'all to love up on her too. Thank you.
Thank you, Nawili. I love that introduction. I forgot about mutual people in the vapors. Wow. Lord Jesus. Anyway, thank you, Nawili, but thank you everyone. I'm loving this screen. I'm loving these faces. I'm loving whether they're still a picture or whether they're moving. I'm loving this avenue of Black women empowering themselves in consciousness. So I can tell you about what I'm doing. I can tell you where I've been. What would you like? Any of that? All of that?
I
Oh, I
wanna-
love it. We like a dab of this and a dab of that.
Stir up the
Okay.
gumbo. We want the gumbo.
Okay. I am writing a new book called Love, Magic, and Maroon Moons. I had to get all my stuff out with my first book, Truth Shots and Ida's Brew. And Truth Shots and Ida's Brew was a tribute to Black women who were inspirational, historical Black women who were inspirational. And my question was, where do they go for healing? You know, where did Harriet Tubman go? Where did Sojourner Truth go? Where did Ida B. Wells go for healing? And I love the introduction because the poetry, I had no idea I could write. I was a journalism major at Howard, and I was a broadcast journalism major. And when you write for the ear, it's different than writing for the eye. And after 45 was elected in 2016, I was so frustrated and so I don't know, unsettled that I had a need to just get it out. And one of the first poems I wrote was, Can You Hear Me Now? And it was so long, it ended up being two poems. It was, Can You Hear Me Now? And Now, Can You Hear Me? So since then, after I got all that stuff out, I found what was underneath all of that rage and all of that frustration and a lot of that anger. And Love, Magic, and Maroon Moons has been given birth. So I am grateful for the what is it? For the uncovering of my essence, that I'm not, that my love is within me, that will always come out once I get rid of a lot of that baggage. So actually I wrote a poem called Emotional Baggage recently, because I write every day. I write all the time. I've got more poems than I, want to admit that I haven't put into a book yet. So I've been writing Love, Magic, and Maroon Moons and fine-tuning it. I recently went to Dakar, Senegal for a month. I have a goddaughter there. And we were, and I went with my beloved named Charles.
Yes.
Who is a fabulous person, wonderful sculptor, and just a good old Black man, Boy Scout from Compton. So, and that was, it was my third or fourth time there, but every time I go, I learn something new about myself. And to go with a man for the first time, traveling and it was his first time out the country, was really an eye opener for him and an eye opener for me. It helped us seal who we are and what we have. So he calls himself an African man now, not even American, African American. He's an African man now. He hung out with the carvers. He chipped away, because I knew with all those sounds out in the world, I knew eventually he was going to start chipping away. He found somebody, one of the carvers and the villagers gave him a big piece of wood, black wood, and he was chipping away at it. So it's so important to stay in your own element in terms of what brings you joy, because what brings you joy will bring other people joy. They will see the beauty and the essence that you see in whatever it is that you do. So that's a little bit about me. What else can I tell you? Who I am. From Beverly Hills High to Howard University, I thought I was Black until you live with Black people. Hang out with Black people in a Black country. I'm in a Black city. It was Black then. I think Washington, D.C. is still Black. I don't know. Okay, it's not, okay. Well, it was predominantly Black when I was there, which was a long time ago. Who I am, what I do, body work. I do programs for a variety of organizations, including Black Lives Matter. I am a practitioner at Agape. Well, I was a practitioner at Agape, but I'm a practitioner, period. Wherever I go, wherever I go, I'm listening, and I'm listening from the heart.
Yes.
So who, what, when is now, how is, however it has to be done, I'm always in a position where I want to get to my joy. I was born from joy. We all are born from joy. And if you need evidence of that, you just look at a child, you look at a baby. They don't need all that stuff that we think that we need to be happy. They live in their joy. Who, what, when, where, why. And the how, let me talk about how a little bit more. I was reading a book recently called Only Fear Dies. And I picked it up at Habitat for Humanity. It was on a coffee table that was being sold. And one of the things that this book has taught me is that what we think is normal is not natural. And we're losing our natural essence in terms of who we are and how we get to where we are. So we have this world where we have to learn to either love the world or we love life. If you love the world, you're going to live in the world with the likes and the dislikes, the love and the hate. You will live with the opposites. If you love life, you accept things in a different kind of way. So we teach children oftentimes to love the world. So we know their likes and dislikes immediately. And they, like me, like most of us, grow up with wanting to always be in our like. Well, the dislikes are wonderful lessons as well. And embracing those things, embracing those things is essential. So I want to read this poem that Emotional Baggage. Can I do that?
Yes, yes, yes. This is your show too. You showed up. Now you can show out.
So this poem was inspired because I was doing a mental health. Oh gosh, there's so much I want to say. So I'm part of the healing justice arm of Black Lives Matter. And we were doing a monthly seminar on YouTube. And this particular subject was about mental health. And I went down this rabbit hole. And the rabbit hole was TED Talks. And I looked up mental health. And one of the things that I learned was that we don't need to talk, when we talk about mental health, we always think about it in terms of the illnesses. And what we need to really talk about is mental strength. There is any one time in your life that you're going to need to muster up as much mental strength as you possibly can. And how do you become stronger mentally? When I look at what we've just gone through in terms of isolation and distancing from each other, you can't help but get closer to yourself. You couldn't help but have conversations with yourself. So mental strength comes from our belief systems. And what weakens us is unhealthy beliefs about ourselves, unhealthy beliefs about others, like my mama drives me crazy, and unhealthy beliefs about the world, like the world is supposed to be fair. So this poem was inspired by that rabbit hole. Emotional baggage. Emotional baggage, you're the holder, its carrier. Burdens held hostage are heavy loads. Backpacks carry the freedom of travel. A home with glued on bandages, wounds never addressed. Shadows hugging light, views offered from prisons, special keys made for locked doors. Limp bodies feel the soul's absence, a refuge, voids, judgment without a cause. New day, if desired. Baggage unpacked. Download worries and troubles, promises of brighter days ahead. A new survey. What is carried that's not needed anymore? Is in this now, what purpose does it serve? Moving forward means not looking back. Feelings are uncomfortable, even sad, but they're not bad. They're just unpleasant. Ride the wave, lean into them for 60 to 90 seconds. New insights appear on the other side. To release pain, you have to get close enough to touch it. Unlike fire, it won't scorch you, just warm you, I promise. When ears can see, eyes can hear, hearts open. Discernment comes from discretion, that's wisdom. Become lighter than a feather without a carrier. Galaxy flight options. As the carrier, examine the weight. What lie about the world do you believe? About yourself or others? Is the world fair? No. Fairness has nothing to do with arrival or departure. But does the creator provide balance? Yes. For flights of joy, happiness, and peaceful coexistence, unload your backpack. Next time you look in the mirror, ask this question. What lie is keeping your pain intact? Your answer will change everything.
Yes. 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 Oh my God.
So examining where we are emotionally is examining how we move in this world. And the guards that we have up, the rails that we have up, we think keep people out, but it keeps our pain intact. It keeps our pain inside.
Yes.
So I'm a believer of vulnerability as strength. There's no weapons that anyone can really form against me unless I believe the lie. So love, magic, and maroon moons, that's this emotional baggage is part of it. Because in order for me to love myself, I have to love every aspect of me, all parts of me. And the parts that I think are unpleasant or uncomfortable are the wonderful tools for learning who I am, what my belief systems are, and where I put my power. And it's never outside of myself.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, Stella. Wow. Wow. Yes, on what day is today? Thursday. Okay. So on Monday, at Peace talked about doing that shadow work, actually placing ourselves in the closet and taking that time to be in the dark. And like you say, letting that touch you and touch the pain or the suffering or whatever it is we think we don't want to see, but in the dark, in that comfort of that closet, making it that sanctuary for healing. Wow, amazing. That, I mean, I just got into backpacks in the last couple of years. So just to hear backpacks, my traveling, I don't know what I ever used to think about backpacks. I guess, growing up in the age where you carried all your books under your arm because that looked cool to have 50 books under your arm walking from school. And we didn't have backpacks. And to see these children now carrying them. So when I got my first backpack like a couple of years ago, it took me like a while to even, I was like, what do I put in here? I don't have anything to carry. I was like, start making up stuff to put in my backpack, like lip gloss, which I love, like, and it was like really light. So I was like, oh, wow. But now when I heard in your poem about traveling, every time I pick up my backpack, the thought that immediately comes to my heart and soul is I'm traveling, I'm moving something. And I use it a lot in this environment, going outside to work on my trees. But now I always I put my Bose speaker in it and I jam when I'm walking with my music. And I like that I get to every time it's a travel experience. But in that traveling now, I also am in a releasing mode. Every time I do that, I'm traveling, I'm taking in the new and I'm releasing some stuff, like shape shifting, replacing it, allowing space for something else to come in. So, wow. I love that poem. I love it. That's in the new book.
Yes, that's going to be in the new book.
Okay.
Yes.
And could you?
I'm so grateful.
Uh-huh.
Hmm?
Go
No,
ahead.
I was gonna say I'm so grateful that I've got a new book coming, because every time you say that, it's like, okay, so work on your book today. Okay, go ahead.
Absolutely. So can you also tell us about World Stage Press, who is the publisher?
Yes. So what happened? I found myself at World Stage Press because on Wednesday nights there's spoken word called the Anasi Writers Workshop in Leimert Park, and I didn't know what to do with the poems, and I went to the Anasi Writers Workshop at World Stage. V. Kali heads it up. She's been doing it for decades now. And I started reading my work. And there was a group of people there that was from a class called Community Literature Initiative. And actually they do Zoom classes now all over the country. And it's just people who write poetry, who want people to help them polish it and edit it and listen to it. And I started doing more and more readings at World Stage, and I connected with the Community Literature Initiative. And it was the last time I think they were in a classroom in probably 2018, 2019, because from that point on, they've gone on Zoom and the pandemic hit. So World Stage Press has been around, I think 8 years, maybe 10 years now. And they take people's writings, they help people form, expression through poetry, through spoken word. It's a support group. It's really fascinating. It's a support group on Wednesday nights. If you just want to be in a room full of people like you who feel and want to express how they feel. Sure. So when something happens, like the shooting in Buffalo, you have poets who write about some of the people who were killed. You have, and so it's a safe place, it's a safe haven to express what's on the inside. Love World Stage Press.
And when she says Leimert, y'all all know that's Los Angeles. That is not Detroit. And I want to say something about World Stage. Can you put about the community initiative group in the chat? So if anyone is interested in, since it's a Zoom meetup, interested, because I know we do have some writers in the Elizabeth community, and just want to pass that information on and share it. Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. I know I feel like I'm in at Estella's house. We just talking. If y'all like to chime in, feel free. Any questions of her? Because I have a bunch. You know, her life is so colorful and beautiful. So and she's just full of it. Anyone else like to chime in before I ask my next question?
So we can get your books at like Amazon and like that. I love that poem that you just shared. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can.
What was
I'm
the
just
name
trying
of,
to spell literature. Okay, go ahead.
what was it, the name of it? The
Oh,
poem.
and I'll put that in the chat too.
Okay. And what book it's in?
Hi, Mama Hat. Thank you for your beautiful reaching out last evening. I appreciate you and love you.
I just want to say thank you to Sister Stella for being present and even being on this planet for us to encounter her on our path right now. So special. And thank you, Elizabeth, for waking up, being able to be awakened this morning and still coming to share. This cipher is so special. Um, Sister Stella, I was listening to as you were talking, and you think talking leading up to this moment from this week, from sitting in our closets and I don't know what to do, but also mentioning the part about meeting the shadows. We were talking about how we need to meet the shadows and fears and sit down and talk to them and see why, why they are here or why they're present. Here, I was looking at a movie called, it's a little, the man, the person who did Soul also did this movie. It was called Inside Out. It's a beautiful story. And fear was put in place because fear sets up to protect you. But so then you learn that, to research what you're afraid of to see why that protection was there. And then you learn and you're able to, that comes towards you, you'll know how to deal with it. And also letting light shine in those spaces where we feel we're fearful, to learn to understand self better, and then use all these qualities because we have these things because they're needed. So, sometimes we may get upset at a situation, and then once you understand that, okay, let me see why I feel this way. Maybe the little girl in us didn't get to be expressed and live her little girl life. I watch children who have been, they're almost robbed of their childhood because they have to see adult things and hear adult things as opposed to, doing what children would do, which is discovery and like understanding who they are going through school. That's when you learn, like, I know how to do this and I can do this. I've just watched so much of that. And then just to, then we can help other people, just like you sharing that you write all the time. You probably have more pages. I know there are pages behind your windows and in your dark spaces. How many tablets, how many spiral notebooks do you have and papers? Because the flow is just really good. And then putting them together in such a way to where people can relate. So I just want to thank you for respecting and honoring your gift and sharing it. So thank you. Thank you.
Ashe.
Hey.
Shame.
Ditto that.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Writing is something that I just always did naturally. To be perfectly honest, I was, let me press enter so I can do this chat. My mother was mentally ill. My mother was paranoid schizophrenic. I have two sisters who are mentally ill, and have been, and they've all been institutionalized. And I have one sister who I can tell you I am a believer in medications because she, I've had a great relationship with her as long as she's on her meds. But this is the first time she's ever been on her meds on a consistent basis. So I wrote when I was young, just to get my feelings out. It was a safe place to go. It was a safe place to be. That's when I write all those things that I can't say out loud. And it's a form for healing for me. So it was probably very natural for me to go into journalism. It was very natural for me to go into broadcast journalism. And then it was very natural for me to start writing poetry, because it was, what can I say? It's like in 30 seconds, because I worked in radio and television. So what can I say in 30 seconds or a minute or, 3 minutes at the most that can hit the points that I'm trying to get out? So I encourage everyone to, wow. I just thought about, I encourage everyone to write.
Yes.
I encourage everyone to hear their heart and let their heart speak. When I had a boyfriend a long time ago that passed away. And it was sudden. He had a heart attack. And I went to the beach on the day of his funeral. And I started writing in my journal. And all of a sudden, my hand started moving. And it wasn't coming from my thoughts. I didn't, and it was labored writing. And I couldn't make it out necessarily. And it was him talking to me. There's something called guided writing and automatic writing, that if you allow yourself to get out of the way, there's messages that are always coming to us that want to come to us through the ethers, through the through the vapors, so to speak. And that kind of writing, I've taught in juvenile hall. I teach at a continuation school. I volunteer at a continuation school. I have shown them how to do guided writing. I have shown them how to do automatic writing. And then they look at me and they ask me if I'm a witch. And I haven't done anything but showed them how to do what they need to do to get in touch with themselves. So, and I take it very lightheartedly, because anything that doesn't seem like it comes through a normal channel can oftentimes be looked on in a negative way. And spirit, spirit is always there. Matter doesn't die, it simply changes forms. So, this may sound strange, but people who have passed do not like to be considered dead. Your love for them did not die. Their love for you did not die. The work continues. You just don't have a body to do it in. So being able to get in touch with my loved ones, and his name was Ron. When Ron came through me like that, I didn't know what it was. I thought, well, maybe this is psychologically, this is what I want him to say. But it wasn't anything that I orchestrated. So the automatic writing is something that is, I think, probably natural to all of us. We just don't know how to tap it. We don't know how to get connected to it so that we can hear answers to questions so much easier. And so when I started doing it in juvenile hall, when I was teaching in a program called Spirit Awakening, I would tell, Akuyo Graham had something called Dear Life, where they would write their life a letter. And I thought, well, if they're going to write their life a letter, life should answer them. And that's how I formed it as a way, as a tool for teaching. I had them write a question or a letter to a loved one. And I had the loved one answer them back. So I find that writing is a tool for liberation for me.
Ashe. And I remember at Agape early on, there was a book that I was put in my hands on, quote unquote, death and dying. I remember that category or something. And it was about two women who were like best friends. One was a nun, and they made a pact with each other. If you transition before I do, send me a message. So of course, as time went on, one of the women transitioned, and the other friend was grieving, and was like, lighten my heart. I need a message from you. Send me a message. And she sat down to write in her journal one day. And when she said she remembered putting the pen in her hand, and then it was 4 hours later. And this journal was completely filled with her beloved, had sent her these messages, and she automatically wrote them out about where and the experience of being across the veil and the people that she had encountered, and how there was no talking, and how this one physician ended up there who thought he had no earthly good. And then he started drinking and developed a disease. And he shared that he didn't feel he was any earthly good. He was a surgeon, but he talked about before each surgery going in this space and just writing something to the great surgeon within him. And so what they did is across the veil, they put him in the great hall, and they put his life on a screen. This is what occurred at this age, to support his shifting in where he was. And he saw this one instance where someone had been in an accident and lost a finger or two, and where they were great pianists, and they were able to get the fingers, bring them to him. He performed the surgery, and this person went on to perform and heal millions and millions of people. And so they needed him to see in this great hall his life. And this all came through her writing. And so when you're talking about automatic writing, how true that is. Wow, what an opportunity for all of us to initiate or do that in our lives. Because I believe in writing. It has definitely been my medicine. And especially when my son transitioned, I wrote, and I still continue to write about that experience. It's still the never ending story, because he's still here. Yesterday, sitting in the garden, every time a monarch, swallowtail, some butterfly shows up, I'm like, thank you, Mosi. That's his name, Mosi Kwabena. I know he's ever present. And so he shows up in that transformational spirit of a butterfly. So yeah, we have these great opportunities to write, and please write. Everybody write. You have the right to write. That's a book, y'all know. The Right to Write by Julia Cameron. So yeah, so anybody else want to talk? Because I'll keep talking.
Well, what I was going to say about writing is that when I first did that day on the beach, I didn't know what that was. I was just honoring whatever was coming through. And then about 3 months later, I had a friend who thought that I wasn't getting over Ron's death. And so she sent me to a psychic. And the psychic opened the door. I knocked and the psychic opened the door and she looked at me and she said, "Oh, you're psychic." And she sat me down and gave me a legal pad. And she said, "I want to show you something called guided writing." And when I had done that the first time, you know, you get to the end of the page and you just, you know, you don't turn the page, you just think it's over. And I had that experience with the psychic where I had reams. I just wrote and wrote and wrote, and I never stopped myself. And, you know, maybe 4 or 5 pages later, I was complete. So what happens oftentimes, because I was showing this to someone recently, when you tune into the channel, it just simply comes through you.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
when you're complete, it simply stops. Just like that.
Yes.
It simply
Yes.
stops.
Yeah.
And you can hear it. You can hear it. And oftentimes my writing, I cannot necessarily make it out very clearly. And I go back over I write the words I think it says at the top of the page, you know, on top of the letters, on top of the line, so that I'm clear.
Yes.
But if you have a question and you need an answer and you don't think that there's an answer, there's always an answer inside.
Ashe. And I'm looking at Miss Evelyn, and I'm looking at Aduni and Mama Bay, and I think their writing, their expression, like Aduni, is music. And I know she can go and go and go and go, she and her husband, until they stop. But it is an ever ending, you know, never ending. And with Miss Evelyn being so just dynamically creative, she could go and go and go and go and go till she stops. And when we talk about those hours, you know, how Sister Vanilla, who runs the workshop, talks about, I just went to bed. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, because it be hitting. And, you know, you got to stay in it when it's hitting, you know, like that. And that 3 to 6 a.m. in the morning, which I usually will wake up someplace in between there, are those ambrosial hours. And that's pouring into your spiritual bank account and also letting it fuel you from the angelic and ancestral realm, to me. I don't know about other people personally, but, and if I look back in my childhood to now, I've always been an early morning riser. I mean, I'm up, like, I'm hearing voices, like things are coming to me and I have to get moving. And used to kind of get in trouble about it. It's like, girl, go back to bed. The sun ain't up. Oh no, but it's up. You know, something's up. I don't know what you want to call it, but you know, just would ride with that energy. Yeah. So thank you, Sella, for sharing that. Miss Evelyn, would you like to share? I'm like looking at your,
Welcome. Thank you for being here.
and I saw my earrings.
I
These are
see.
Evelyn's earrings.
I see. I wanted to know, because writing, like you said, because I have attempted. I'm not going to use that T word. I attempted
We
to.
cannot, so we can't, we're encouraged not to use that word that starts with a T. And if we do, at first it was push-ups, but now it's like butt squeezes. So you know that word that starts with a T and ends with it's 3 letters. So I'm gonna leave it at that, because I'm not gonna say it.
Good job, good job. And so 10 for the 3 letters, and if you had an ing, it's 20. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
So because I find I try too much to control when I'm trying to do the writings, just to dump your brain. And so do you said you teach, you have a class or a philosophy or a way that you teach your students how to brain dump or automatic writing?
So I think those probably are two different processes.
Okay.
The automatic writing, how can I explain this? So when I teach automatic writing, they want to get in touch with somebody, or they want to get in touch with their higher self.
Mm-hmm.
So I have them write, I have them put whoever it is that they want to get in touch with in one corner of the paper, and the date on the other corner of the paper. And then I have them write that person. So if it's your mother or your father or somebody who passed away, you know, dear so-and-so, you know, I miss you. I don't know what to do without you. I need some answers to some questions. You know, did you die in peace? You know, is there, you know, is there a way that I can, you know, you ask the question and then you write dear and your name after that.
Mhm.
And after your name, I've never tried to do this on a Zoom call, but after your name, you put your pen on the paper. And for me, you stay connected to the paper. You put your pen on the paper and you simply allow your hand to start moving.
Mm.
You can write to people. Have I ever written to anybody on this side? I don't think I've ever written to anybody on this side, unless, you know, I'm just purging, which is what you're referring to, you know, the purge, like so-and-so, you're a dog and I can't stand you kind of thing, or whatever. That's not automatic writing. But, you know, so what I'm hearing, the question is the freedom in your writing. How do you get free in your writing? And I say, start with the dump. Start with the dump, because the dump gives you the freedom to go beyond the surface.
Mm-hmm.
And what you want to do is go beyond the surface.
Mm-hmm.
And to do that in a way that will free you. So the question is sometimes, what do you want? Do you want to purge? Do you want to dump? Do you want to, you know, just get it out so you can go to sleep tonight? Or do you want an answer to something that you're seeking? You know, I as a practitioner, I can say that what you seek is seeking you. There's nothing in the void. There's a reason why you're being pulled in a particular direction, and you do not necessarily know why. But I had no idea that when Donald Trump became president of the United States, that I would end up writing a book called Truth Shots, and I just grew. But I needed to get that out. And in the process of getting it out, have I written any? And I'm sure most of my poems feel like automatic writing, because I'll just start writing and it just flows through. I don't think necessarily about what I write. I feel what I write. You know, I lean into, like in the emotional baggage poem, I lean into the feeling. And when I lean into the feeling, I can get to the healing. So I write for me, for the healing.
Yes.
And if it's useful for other people, I think that's a really wonderful thing, you know, but it's for me to express what's on the inside to get it out. I mean, I'm writing wonderful love poems. I have a great man in my life. And I mean, I would never thought that I would be writing wonderful love poems, but I have to now because I need to get it out. And Lord knows his ego's like, oh, honey, can you read another poem? So, of course, right? So, you know, the writing has to be from a place of freedom. Oftentimes, Evelyn, we can get stuck because we think we've been trained. This goes from normal to natural. We've been trained to do it, that it has to be done right, that it has to look a certain kind of way. And we get stuck in what we think of as the correctness. I say be incorrect, you know, start with being incorrect.
Yes.
and seeing what incorrect feels like.
Yes.
You know, people write haikus, people just write one-liners, you know, people write all kinds of things just so they can unload, you know, like the emotional baggage, so that they can unload. So I say unload because it allows you to fly.
Yes.
It allows you an expression, an expansion that you can't get any other way. You know, it's you and you, but it's you and you, but your higher you know, your higher self.
Okay.
So try and write from a place of not having to feel like you have to be correct.
Yes.
My suggestion.
So I exercise just popped in my mind. You know, the mind is a terrible thing not to use. So the exercise that just popped in my mind is we're going to do a flow thing right now. So I'm just going to write something down that came to me. And then I'm going to pass a baton to someone randomly, but divinely, who's on the call. And you add the next line. And we're going to see what we come up with. Y'all in?
Okay.
Hey, let's flow. I like this. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna write it what you say in
Cool.
the chat so we can at the end read everything. How about that?
Yes.
All right, cool. So I'm just going to invite us all to take a deep breath right now and just enjoy this life force that is coming in through and as us and speaking to us as we begin to flow in this experience and let it rip. And Sadie sat me on the porch and said, I got love. And I pass the baton to Sanji.
Wow.
Can you repeat it one more time, please?
Mama Sadie sat me on the porch and said, I got love.
Receive it, baby, and live in the light.
And you pass the, are you finished? And you could pass the baton.
Stella the Poet.
The light is so bright, it helps you see in the dark.
All right.
Can you guide me to it? Evelyn.
The light is so bright, it's blinding. And I'm going to blind everybody with my light.
Yeah.
Mama Heteru. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. You're muted.
That's good. Okay, Evelyn, can you repeat it one more time? Okay.
The light is so.
The light is so bright, it's blinding, and I'm gonna shine so bright something.
Well, the light is so bright, it's blinding. And I'm going to blind everybody with my light.
Oh, okay.
I think I got it shining on me now. I'm going to say that I will take off all of my clothes and let it reach every creek and crevice of my body.
Say it again.
I'm taking off my clothes and I want it to reach every crease and crevice of my body. Oh, I gotta pass it. Mama Yaba.
Light like love shines like the sun.
Are you done, Mama Yaba?
Oh, that's right. I gotta pass it.
Gotta pass the
Gotta
baton.
pass it.
Let's see who's here. Kamarie. Empress. Maybe she stepped away. Ayana. Why everybody so quiet?
Oh, I had to unmute myself. Sorry.
Okay.
Mama Ayaba, yes. Can you repeat that for me, please? Like this.
And light like love shines like the sun.
So what's your essence? I glow and we glow as one.
Say it again.
And with your essence, I glow and we glow as one.
Pass it on.
Pass the baton.
Let's see. Omani, I know you're not familiar for what we're doing here, but we're just adding the lyrics.
Omani Grace, is that who you're passing it to?
Passing it.
Unmute yourself, Mama Omani.
Hello.
You're just gonna continue the story.
I'll follow. I'm just following. I know I'm late. Good morning.
There's no late.
Good morning.
So the last thing that was said, if I have it right. Oh, okay. Well, Empress says, I have gratitude of peace, happiness, joy, great health, prosperity, and wealth shining to all for the greater good. And you can follow that.
Miss Lillie B.
No, Omani.
Okay.
Omani, you want to follow that sentence with something that, whatever you want to say. The last sentence was, it's like we're creating a story and each person says something and then and then you pass it on wherever you stop. So the last thing that was said was, I have gratitude of peace, happiness, joy, great health, prosperity, and wealth shining to all for the greater good.
Unmute yourself.
So I'm supposed to add a line now?
Yes.
Okay. It could be whatever you want.
Amani,
whatever you want, honey.
Yeah, we flowing. Don't think.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm present to it. Wait a minute. I'm present to it right now. Filled with laughter, lightness, forgiveness, and all is well. Ooh, y'all pressing the girl when she first wake up. Okay, go ahead.
You have to pick somebody.
Okay. Well, I do my favorite, Nawili. I mean, all y'all my favorites, but Nawili.
I started, but I'll flow.
Oh no. Okay, well then let me go to. Well, see, now y'all gonna know who I'm really into. Okay, how about Sunzi?
She flowed. Lillie B flowed.
Okay, give me that Lillie. I'll do Lillie B. Oh yeah, she had Bella out, Lillie B.
Okay.
All right. So my sentence is just like you taught me, right, Mama? All those things that are in me, I find deep down inside.
Just like you taught me, Mama.
Nope, just like you taught me, right, Mama?
Right, Mama.
All those things I find deep down inside.
Mm.
I'm so happy you taught me about my light. And I am passing it to, who's next? Go, go. I'm sorry, y'all. I've been walking, so let's see.
Alita, the last one.
I'm so happy you, what?
I'm so happy you taught me about my light.
Okay.
Alita.
Oh, it's for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Great day, sis.
I thought I heard my name. I wasn't sure. Good morning, everybody. Okay. What about my light, honey? Tell me one more time.
The last sentence was, or the last part, I'm so happy you taught me about my light.
Oh, I am so happy that you taught me about my light, because I've learned what love is. And I have learned that with all of us together, with our lights together, we can go in any part of the world and heal the people there. So I am so happy. I am so grateful to acknowledge the power that I have with my light.
Okay.
Hey, we gotta back that one up.
Whose voice was that? Whose voice was that?
That's Alita.
Alita.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
I've learned what love is, and I've learned what, that's as much as I don't know what you got, Aduni. I'm writing.
Okay, I got, because I've learned what love is, and I have learned that with all of us together, we can go to any part of the world. So
and
I
heal.
am a world and heal. We wasn't expecting a paragraph.
I know.
I'm sorry.
No, what?
Wait. And so wonderfully said. I'm gonna have to tell y'all that I had I've been doing Alita's hair for years, and we had a graduation, and I told her when I was doing her hair, I said, I want you to do the commentation. And so she said, yeah, really? And I said, because your voice when you speak. And so you called it, didn't you?
Yeah, I felt it all the way up. I was like, who is that talking?
When she went into that mode, right? Her voice
so
is
kind.
beautiful.
You're so kind. Thank you.
Okay, so all I got is, so I am, I don't know if anyone got the last part.
So grateful.
So grateful.
Okay.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Wow.
Okay.
Your turn, Queen Aduni.
How you spell that?
I want to know what love is. I know I can show you.
You gotta write this in shorthand.
Gotta spell singing.
Oh, okay. So I am so grateful because I've learned what love is, and I have learned that love is the greatest commodity one can express on my sisters.
Yay.
Yeah, I think everybody's got something.
Okay, Stephanie, we're finished. That was everyone.
Yes.
Okay, so you want to, Aduni, I only wrote so much. My hand is fast, but my shorthand is short. So
good. Let me see.
You want to run it back?
Let me see what we have here. We started off with, let me see. So, okay, Mama Sadie set me on the porch and said, I got love. Then whoever was next, receive it, baby, and live in the light. And then the light is so bright, it helps me see in the dark. Can you guide me to it? The light is so bright, it's blinding, and I'm going to blind everybody with my light. I have gratitude of peace, happiness, great health, prosperity, and wealth. I'm taking off my clothes and I don't know what else.
To let the light shine in every crease and crevice.
Oh, okay, all of that. Thank you. Shining. Let's see. The light like love shines like the sun. With your essence, I glow with, and we glow as one. And I think there was some more. And then Empress chimes in, I have gratitude and peace, happiness, joy, great health, prosperity, and wealth, shining to all for the greater good. Filled with laughter, somebody else, filled with laughter, likeness, forgiveness, and all is well. Just like you taught me, Mama. Just like you taught me right, Mama. All those things I find deep down inside. I'm so happy you taught me about my light. Because I've learned what love is, and I've learned that with all of us together, we can go to any part of the world and heal. So I am so grateful. And okay, love is the greatest commodity one can express. Express on, sisters.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Did we
I
pass?
have one.
Go ahead.
Something I need to say. I think it's really important that my part goes after Evelyn because she picked me after it because the sun was shining so bright. That's why I took off the clothes to let it get in every crease and crevice. It means different because remember when you said it after you like what did you say? You know, yeah. It has mine has to be after the Evelyn with the sunshine. I think it helps with the context.
And
Yeah,
love
Evelyn
that.
gave it to me next, and
It's so interesting. Like Mama Bay always talks about words. How for me, because I went from writing every word so much in my life to for a year I wrote nothing but haikus. Haikus make you focus and concentrate. It's the first line is 5 syllables. The second line is 7 syllables. And the last line is 5 syllables. So it makes you like focus your attention right in. And what I would do is I use my hands. So I'm just going to do this is my love exercise I did for a year with myself every single day. So I'm going to do like a haiku art performance, so to speak. So this is my hands. Love takes me higher. I am at peace right now, so I choose love and life. That's my haiku. 575. Got to move my hands, got the movement, got the feeling tone, and got to speak it. So just another exercise, another exercise in expression. And then of course I get to take my pen and write it. And I would find myself with my pad next to my on my nightstand. And if at 2 o'clock I sat up, I grabbed that pen and I just started writing. And then the next one morning, I was like haikus were flowing through right after left. I was like, wow, I can't wait to read them in the morning. My pen was not working. So I had all this imprints on this whole page of like 10 haikus, but I couldn't even do Columbo and rub the pencil. I mean, it was just like lost in translation for real. So, okay, so I want to get back to Stella. Thank you guys for playing with me this morning, doing that exercise. I really love it. That was very liberating to me. And just like great to hear everybody else express. you know, and how we could flow. And yeah, I might take that piece and, you know, if y'all give me permission, artistic licensing here to play with it. Yeah, because I do that too. So Stella, I want you to, would you mind reading a poem from your first book?
I was just that what we just did inspired a thought of one of my poems. And it's sort of and it's sort of it's an exercise that we all should do when we can. And that is learning to sing your name. You sing your first name, just your first name. All those other names have baggage connected to them. But your first name is what is the syllables and the vibration that you came in on. And I did this exercise at a school, at a juvenile, in a concentration camp, at a juvenile facility for girls. And there was a woman, a teacher there named Consuela. And she hated her name. And what I would do with the kids is that I would have them go into the corners, turn their backs, close their ears. And first I have them hum their name so that they can get the right tone, the right beat, because only you can really sing your name. And then I would hum it, and then I would have them hum it, and then I would have the humming get louder, and then I would have them sing their name out loud. And by the time you've sung it 4 times, you can feel your whole body recalibrate. So this poem is called Oneness. And it was inspired when the egg meets its match. We all came from love, whether we know it or not. And an egg and a sperm fell in love, and they brought us here. So whether you know that egg or you know that sperm, whether you know their names, it doesn't matter, because you're here. And you were conceived from that love. So Estella, Estella, Estella. Oneness. I am perfect, whole, and fully complete. I am evolving, purposeful, and earthly seated. I am electricity projected with bull's eye precision. I am divine and entwined, heavenly bred and ignited, an evolutionary healer, prayerfully planted and plotted. I sing my own name, enchanted with my soul's promise. I embrace in you what humanity needed. Here to laugh and live and love out loud. Here to holler and cuss, moan and shout. I came to dance full out and learn what loving is all about. I came oozing warm liquid emissions. I came with the invisible, the invincible, and the impossible's permission, reminding you to sing your own name so you can feel spirit's vibration within. We love again and again. Eventually, this body will fade. When my obituary is written, I came from love.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh, beautiful. Ooh.
May I add something? Nawili, there was an exercise, the exercise that you just did, I used to do years ago with people just with one word.
Yeah.
And a name kept coming up. I didn't know where this name came from. And one day I went down to the city to look up something on my property and found out that there was one of the owners' name of that house. Wow. And that was before I learned how to sage. So that name kept coming up. And there was another aspect I wanted to say to Stella. I'm trying to remember what it was I wanted to say, but I can't. But so you all go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much.
She will come back to you.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Mama has.
Miss Stella, I wanted to ask you, and I did hear you say that you write, but do you have like a pen fetish and a tablet fetish, like paper?
I
what
do.
Do you write on? What do you write on, and what's your favorite ink pen?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, I write on anything. I write on anything. I am, you know, it's like you catch something and you hear it and you need to write it down. And if it's even a paper bag, I write on anything. But I find that I always take a journal with me when I travel.
Yes,
And
I need to start doing that.
Yeah, I take a journal with me when I travel. I have an autograph pen for my book.
What pen is it? Is it like a paper mate or what's the one? No, fine point, medium point. I just need to know.
She's deep in like me.
That's a good question.
The Sharpie.
I know.
No, well, so Sharpies, the Sharpies that don't bleed through is a really nice flow. It has a really nice flow to it.
Yes.
In general, I like autographing books with that, but I have the pen that my boyfriend bought when we were in Hawaii, and it was like a $75 pen. And I loved it because it's a beautiful pen, obviously, for that kind of price. It's a beautiful pen, but it has ink cartridges that you can continue to replace.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Yes, with the cartridges.
Yeah.
Oh, I love paper. So
yes.
I'll write on anything, but I have certain journals that I write certain things in. So I have a journal of joy.
Okay.
And those things that happen in my life that bring me that kind of joy, I can always go back to remember, and to recenter myself, rebalance myself. I have a journal that's about travel, places I've been all over the world, which is really fascinating because when you write in the moment, in Egypt or Morocco or Spain or, Brazil, like wherever I've been, it's really fascinating to remember where I was and what I was feeling, what I was seeing at that time.
When you were there.
When I was there.
It's different to write about it afterwards.
Yes. Yes.
I like that you said that because I've been told to write and I have never stopped writing. So, but when they tell me, hey, you need to write a da-da-da-da, and I'm like, when I sit down to do it, I'm all over the place. Like everybody that's lived in me is writing at the same time. And I'm like, wait a minute, y'all. I need one at a time. But I tell myself maybe I need to pull the pages out that go together with other stuff. And I like that you have certain journals. And I think that's what I've come to. Thank you for verifying that, because I think that's what I want to do. But I was just laughing because I was just looking at my journal the day I was having my daughter. I was writing my times for my contractions, and my penmanship got real bad. I was like, I'm not putting the pen and the tablet down. I'm not writing another thing. I had to concentrate because my body was, body was taking over. I was like, oh my God. But my writing, I love to show people those times. So thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Mama Razia, I see you are on. Great day to you, beautiful. How are you?
Unmute yourself.
Thank you. I'm good. I got up fairly early and I saw the information. I text Hania to let her know. I don't know if she was able to get on, and then something happened where I couldn't get on. So I'm glad to see everyone, and I'll have to look in the files to see what I missed. I certainly have been one to appreciate journaling, and I was turned on to journaling years ago, but I didn't follow through like I should. I realized that so much happens in our lives that if we don't record in the present or within 48 hours, we've lost so much.
That's correct.
Of what happened. We've lost the feeling of it. We've lost minute details. And in my work as a, in the clinical settings, they say, if you don't record it within 48 hours, it's mute. So I am inspired by this session this morning, and I'm going to really start journaling. I know for a fact that for me, if I start doing something and I can do it consistently for a week or two, and one of my friends says, do it for 21 days and you'll never look back. Because by that time, it becomes a part of you.
True.
And it's easy because you get up and it's like, I didn't brush my teeth. Or I didn't, it becomes really an important part. So thank you so much for reminding us of the importance of journaling. I know the few times when I have journaled and written, I go back to that to remember. I said, well, I know I wrote it down then, and I look at it and I said, I had forgotten a half of this stuff. And if I hadn't written it down, I would have lost it forever.
Yes.
So thank you.
Yeah. Have you ever written something and you may look at it years later and you say, who wrote this? Because it is so divinely written that I know this is my handwriting, but who wrote this? Because this is fabulous, and yeah.
Right.
I have volumes of diaries, and there were songs that I wrote in there that the spirit said, when your husband comes, he's going to know where this song came from. And so when my husband came on, I opened the manual. I just went right to that one particular diary and opened it right up. Sometimes when it's time for that, you do that. I date everything I put in. And I sang that song to him, and he said, I said, you know where this came from? He said, yeah, you used to sing that to our newborn baby in a past life. Wow. Those type of things would come up. So I date and time everything.
Wow.
They become significant.
Absolutely.
That's what I was going to say. When you date it, I mean, if you can, always date your work, because you can also see your growth and evolution.
Yes.
Over a period of time. It's important to date, and it's important for me now to date my work, because I do so many I edit my poems, and I never remember, like, what is this the last edit? So it keeps me on track. It helps me to remember where I'm headed, and helps me to fine tune in a different kind of way. And what I was also going to say, is it Susie?
Sunzi.
Sunzi. What a great name. I write my dreams.
Yes.
And I always have a pen and pad by my bed, because my dreams are incredibly prophetic.
Yes, mine too.
And and some of them are so important to me that I need to write it out. I need to remember. And I wrote a series of poems from a dream state. I mean, literally, I dreamt about this man at the beach, and we, in your dreams, you don't have words. At least in my dreams, we don't have dialogue. We're all I'm telepathic.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I wrote about, him mentioning his wife only briefly, for his first wife only briefly. I talked about this big puffy afro on his chin. And I mean, that was a dream state. And then, when Charles came into my life, I realized, like, I don't know, about a month or two ago, it's like, oh, I wrote about you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you were coming. And I knew you were coming. My dreams knew you were coming. And I've got it documented that this is you. This is my dream come true, literally.
Mm-hmm.
So dreams are really important to write, whatever way that you see it. I mean, I wrote a poem from them. I wrote several poems from dreams. So everything you have, you can use.
Yes.
Everything that's ever happened to you is there for your growth and unfoldment.
That's correct.
So whether it's a good dream or a bad dream, or whether it's just a feeling after, an event or a situation happens, all of it is useful. You don't get anything that you're not supposed to have that helps to evolve you.
Say, grow gift. Wow.
I have a question as well. Just one question right quick. Have you ever put any of your writings or your poetry to music?
I had my book party, my opening, my nephew plays the cello. And so I have a poem called The Magic of Black. And he played the cello under it while I was reading it.
Wow.
And then recently, my Charles told me to get the, what do you call it, the tambourine? Is that what it is?
Tambourine.
Told me to get tambourine because I wrote a poem called Queen Kong. And it was perfect for the tambourine. So
I gotta hear that. Do you have it?
I don't know where Queen Kong is.
Okay.
It's somewhere upstairs, but music moves it in a different kind of way.
Yeah.
And I'm not that, I'm not lyrical, which is really interesting because I think my music, my poetry flows like music. And I have a good friend, Ricky, who's a choir director. I mean, who was a choir director over at Agape, but she's a wonderful composer.
Yeah.
And Ricky's words in her songs are poems. So it's all lyrical. It's like how it hits you. It moves you. Like music moves you and leads you along. Yeah. So
Ricky, I had a list of Ricky songs that are queued up.
Oh, can we play one after Mama Het? Yes. Mama Het.
I wanted to share. I met a woman and I had her come do a talk at my school for career day. But Sister Jackie, she when I met her, she was teaching us about journaling. She said she taught us to skip lines, so when you go back and read, you can add what you changed and what you did to make it out of whatever the situation was. And I just thought that was so prophetic. But I do the morning. I was doing the morning pages. I got into them when the pandemic, I guess when it started, you could say. And so what I would do is I would write 3 pages a day. It's called free write. It's called morning pages. It's a free write. You don't worry about punctuation and spelling and all of that. You just get your shadow, morning with your shadow. So just write everything that you're thinking of on 3 pages. Mine ended up turning into gratitude because I didn't really have stuff to fuss about. But skipping pages, I wrote 3 pages a day, and I would fold the pages over like we used to do sign-in books from high school. And then I would go forward through the book, and then I would come backward and I turn it upside down and write in the
I
skip line.
do.
So
Oh
I'm
my
writing
God.
this book like 4 times. It's so funny. I
Oh,
love it. But they said either wait for 3 months to read it or burn them, and I would just burn mine because we had a
yes,
bonfire. But
yes.
that morning pages, I was like, dang, I don't think I could write every day, but I can talk. So if I can talk
Yeah.
and be quiet and put it in a book, it's going down. But I've done like 10, and I would collect. I worked at a school, so the children would always leave their tablets. They might write on 2 or 3 pages. Baby, I had about 1,000 spirals. I'm a recycler, but yes,
Yeah.
love the writing.
Morning pages are great. I did them for about, I think I did morning pages for about 15 years. And I kept them though. I didn't burn them. I haven't gone back and read them. They're a storage unit in Los Angeles. But morning pages are great. Just, you might wake up and, ooh, I'm feeling a little whatever I'm feeling, but I'm gonna keep going. I mean, you write, you let it flow. You don't judge it. You don't, correct it. And like Mama had said, punctuation not important. And I'm like, it's so interesting. I would do the front of the page, then go from the back and upside down. I definitely embrace just writing it and letting it flow. So yeah. Any other comments before we play some music?
I have
Well,
one thing I
Oh,
did.
I
Oh,
have a question. I had an extraordinary dream experience last night, and I know that it's something that I should write down. It was kind of on the verge of a nightmare. And I woke up saying, wow, should I try to just release all of this and not put it on paper? Or what should I do with this type of dream? And I actually would like to talk with someone about the interpretation or the meaning of it, because it was deep. And it involved some people that are close to me. And I don't know what to make of it. So I just throw that out there. When we have something that's really far out, extraordinary, and we feel uncomfortable with even recording it. That's the experience I had. And I think it affected my being able to really get on the Zoom call at 8, because it was jolting.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh, let me just, because that reminds me of a dream that I had the night before I got on the plane to go to Howard University from LA. I had a dream that I was a little girl, about 2 or 3 years old, crawling on my hands and knees at a park in San Pedro that we used to go to as a child when we were children. And it was 3 levels, and we were usually on the second level, but on the bottom level, or the rock, was the beach and the rocks. And you can like walk down to the rocks. So we were on the second level, and I'm crawling after so be very vivid. I mean, be clear when you write your dreams too. I was crawling after this, I think it was a blue and turquoise, or it was a blue and pink little train. Don't ask me why, but I'm crawling after it. And I get to the edge where you could fall off the cliff. And I'm crawling, and I'm a child, and I'm falling, and I'm crawling, and I reach for this train, and I fall off the cliff. And I'm hanging on a tree branch that's coming out the side of the hill. And above me, I see my father. And my father's holding an umbrella. Now, this is a sunny day, okay? My father's holding an umbrella. He's got his umbrella in one hand, and he reaches for me with the other. And he couldn't reach for me. He couldn't get close enough, so he got a little bit closer. And then when he got a little bit closer, he slipped, and he fell past me down to the rocks. that was a dream I had. I had that dream that night. The next day I was getting on a plane to go to Howard.
Wow.
And it disturbed the hell out of me. I mean, it was like, what was that about?
Yeah.
And then about, I don't know, maybe 6 months later, I had a boyfriend who had a dreamer's dictionary. And I looked up those elements, the umbrella. I looked up the beach. I looked up crawling. I looked up all those things in my dream that stood out. And it wasn't a dream about disaster. It was a dream about triumph and trust. And the umbrella was the protector.
Yeah.
So you may think that something is frightening or scary, but it's really for your own, again, your own evolution, for your own expansion. You know, sometimes I think dreams are about other people. Dreams are always really about me.
Yes.
And how I feel when I wake up from that dream is important. The elements within the dreams are important. Documenting those things are important. Looking it up, researching it is all important. So, you know, your dreams are not there, you know, to entertain you that night because they had nothing else to do. You know what I mean? They're purposeful.
Yes.
Right.
And
Thank you.
Yeah. So write it, you know, write it.
Okay.
You'll find it. And those ones that scare you the most are the ones that will teach you the best
Will
lessons.
grow you the most.
So,
And,
Miss
and,
Stella,
and when you write your dreams, any element, even if it's a bug, just ask for the metaphysical aspects of that, and it'll come right up.
so Miss Stella, as you were telling that dream, all I saw was that it was you stepping out on faith because you were about to go start your new life, your journey, your, you know, going to school. I was like, oh no, that's great. Yeah. I felt that.
I know, but I was leaving my daddy, and I'm a
I
daddy's
know.
girl, you know. But it's also, you know, I'm always protected. You know, I'm always protected because I was hanging there from the tree thinking, do I go after him? You know, but it was about my journey.
Yes.
Felt that. I felt that so much. Yeah.
Hey.
Mama Omani, you were going to say something?
Oh yeah, a couple of things. So you guys, so I stopped journaling a while ago because they was just throwing up, and I just got tired of throwing up every day. So this is a conversation for me to get back to journaling. And on my spiritual journey, that was one of the things I was given to do. But traveling from place to place, I lost my journaling, and then I got mad, and I'm like, I'm not journaling no more. So this is a conversation to have me pick that back up and start again. So thank you, ladies, for that. And yeah, that's really good. And I'm about to go to Egypt Saturday.
Ashe.
Wow.
Right.
Yes.
And I just want to share this because my test has become my testimony. I started this journey, and I didn't know until I was deep into it that it's called the dark night of the soul. But it was also another metaphor is I was cast out into the wilderness, and didn't know in the beginning what it was, and nobody could tell me. But I heard a minister, her name is Shahira, she talked about if you're having some of y'all having a wilderness experience. And I was like, oh, I'm having that. But the thing that had me, and it's been like a 15-year journey, the thing that had me keep going, what God had put on my heart was to teach people about wealth consciousness. And the thing about the journey that was important about the Israelites going through the wilderness is where were they headed? They were headed to the land of milk and honey. They were headed to the promised land. So once I really got, okay, I got to go through this because I'm headed to the promised land, I have just kept walking. So now my heart, my soul, my spirit is so moved because I'm at the end of the journey because I'm going to the motherland, y'all. And I'm going to the cradle of civilization. I'm going with someone who goes every year, and we're actually going to go in the pyramids. So today, and we're going to the 7 temples along the Nile. So I'm going to visit all the temples that represent the chakras, right? So I took a picture of all y'all here today because I'm gonna take all y'all with me.
Ashe today.
And, I am just the part you guys talking about dreams, like I just had a breakthrough about my creativity because my experience of myself was I became fragmented. So this conversation today are bringing back the things that I broke, that got fragmented, that I hadn't made healed and made whole.
Yeah.
And so journaling, there was another piece too. Oh, the dreams. This journey started because I didn't know how to deal with the death of my mother. And my dreams became nightmares. They became like Freddy Krueger nightmares. Like I would go into a dream and I couldn't come out. And I would be like, hell no. I'd be waking up out of my dreams in tears. Ah, what the hell was that? Because I couldn't come out of the dream. You know how you dream and you want to come out, you can come out. I couldn't come
About
out.
being
Like,
stuck. Yeah.
oh yeah, I was
being
like,
stuck.
oh hell no. So I have stopped dreaming. And I've just started to dream again. I've just started to sleep again. For the last 3 days, I've slept more than I've slept in 15 years. Like really went to sleep. And last night, my dad came to visit me. So I'm moved by that. To get my dreams back, to get my creativity back. And I kept asking God, how come I can't create nothing? Help me, help me, help me. Well, God is like, no, you help you. You the creator. What the hell?
Yeah.
Right. And so what I really saw from that was, oh, my creativity is an aspect of me that got fragmented that I've never reclaimed, healed, and made whole. And ever since I've done that a few days ago, like the creativity is so wide open, but I'm also clear that I'm going to the source of creation in Egypt. And I need that peace. So whatever there is for me to get at Egypt, I can bring that creativity, that source energy back to us, and we can grow from it. So I just want to say I love you guys.
We love you.
And could you please give us a report upon return?
I know that's
yeah.
right.
I know. And so I'm just so moved. I'm moved by that. I didn't know that I had to go through the hell I went through because I'm a diva. So I'm a diva. And the whole time I was like, my crown, my makeup, what the hell?
Right.
And however, I've always been someone who's rode the high road. So to be on the low road was hell for me. But I had to learn, because if I'm going to lift people up from that, I can't have disdain for that. And so I had to learn, humble myself, learn, and when someone is in that space, how to empower and uplift and inspire. So I'm there now, taking ownership of who I am and what there is for me to bring to the planet, and to support others in opening and creating theirs so that they can bring it to the planet. So that's what I'm up to. And I just want to share that with you guys today. And this call was like perfect, because dreams, journaling, and writing again, all those things are things that I need to recapture and reclaim. So thank you very much, Elizabeth's Rising.
Oh, Marnie, you got to get yourself a new journal and a new ink pen, maybe 4 or 5 colors. Don't 4 or 5 colors.
Wait a minute. You have no idea. I am a writer. Girl, I got so many highlighters. I'm a calligrapher. I got calligraphy pens.
Okay, you
I
ready
got
already.
all the colors. What Sharpie you want, girl?
What
fine print?
Sharpie?
I got all of it. I wish you. And the other day I looked, I'm like, okay, so how many highlighters you need?
Yeah, I'm just saying. So you got to pack you an Egypt pen and an Egypt.
Yes, I'm definitely going to take a journal with me. And because when I was down in Honduras, I journaled the whole trip. But when I went to Jamaica just a few months ago, I didn't journal. But Jamaica was about me being in the now and just absorbing what was happening and going on around me. So, but for Egypt, for sure, I'll be journaling every day.
Ashe today. Oh my gosh, this is so
Y'all.
I got chills.
Yeah.
Can I ask, is there anyone that interprets dreams that would like to offer their service to Mama Razia?
I have done a lot of interpretation. But before she comes to me, I would like for her to research those entities in her dream
Okay.
and then see what you come up with.
Mm.
And then you can ask someone and see if it's on the same page.
So
Mhm.
It's like confirmation.
Okay. So I should get the courage to write the dream, while it's very current, and then look at the various
Aspects.
events
Yes.
and
Yes.
see what it meant.
Yeah, because sometimes, you can get a dream that you're gorging on this food, and it's because you don't really have any, so sometimes it's opposite the meaning that it registered in the dream, but like just take every detail and research it and see what you come up with. Then you can write yourself a summary and then get back with one of us to see what what we say. So whoever else can add to that, please do.
Mm-hmm. And Mama Razia, you don't need courage because you are the creator. It came through you. You have more power than it has, right? So you just write it down. All you're doing is writing it and asking God to give you clarity as you write it. And so, yeah, it takes love, not courage, just love what has come through you, and you want to understand it. And all that get understanding. So there's no fear connected to that. Got it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you are that. You are that.
Like a conduit or funnel, or
Yeah.
bringing it forth. Yes.
Yes. Nothing can hurt you.
Mama Randia, the seed butter you made was immaculate, and I've been thinking about it for a while. The baby was excited to have some. I I know this is a different subject, but that seed butter, Mama Razia, the baby's been wanting some since then.
Seed cheese.
Yes.
Oh, the seed cheese.
Not
Okay.
seed butter. Yeah.
Seed
I was
cheese.
like butter.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, that seed cheese. Oh.
Well,
That was
I've got
level.
an appointment at 11, so I've got to close this out. I so appreciate you, Stella, for coming on. Come anytime. You don't have to have you're special all the time. Everyone is. So pop in. You're in California?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm in Los Angeles.
Yes.
Talking about.
Thank you. Special thanks for getting up even earlier.
Oh yeah, that's the truth.
Yes.
My joy. It's been my pleasure.
Bless you, early birds. I bless all the early birds.
The early birds get the worms. So
Thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you all.
For some bread.
This has been wonderful and divine. I'm grateful.
Oh,
Give
thank you.
Give each other hugs for the day.
Give yourself a big hug. And give the world a big hug, because we all need it.
Yes. Love the world.
Get some of that Elizabeth love the world.
All right.
And you be
Peace to
safe,
you,
my
Rob.
dear.
Thank you.
You be safe, dear.
All right, Omani. Love you guys. Peace.
Love you.
Peace.
Peace and love.
So awesome.